Hello everyone, thank you for joining us today. My name is Tiffany Garcia and I'm a librarian at the San Jose Public Library. Today I'm going to show you how to make a Truffula tree. For this activity, you will need construction paper in two colors. I chose yellow and black, but you can do red and blue or pink and purple. I'm also going to need cardstock or cardboard. A small amount will do. It will be in a circle later. A popsicle stick or a paper straw or a skewer. Also a glue stick or tacky glue, a pencil, scissors, and a red marker. If you happen to have a cardboard tube or paper tube or a pool noodle, you can also enlarge it, but with a paper plate on top instead of using cardstock or cardboard. I myself don't have any of those to use, so I'm going to go ahead and just use my cardstock paper and popsicle stick. So here I have my cardstock paper, and as you see, it's not a large piece of paper, and that's totally fine because we only need it for the center. So we need to make some circle around it. So I'm going to just use this little bottle here and make a circle around it, just a little bigger because as you see, it's still a little tiny. I like it a little bit bigger. You want to have enough space that you can write some words in the middle. So it's about 4 inches long all around. And so now here's my circle. I'm going to go ahead and cut it out. And as you see here, I'm leaving a space around the circle. Don't want any flat part of the circle, so I'm making sure it's circular all around. But I'm leaving the space from the pencil line to the edge here. Now I'm going to get my yellow paper and I'm going to go ahead and fold in half. This is a used piece of paper here. I'm just making sure to finish this piece. So I'm just folding in half, and then I'm going to make strips out of this short ways. So let me first just get my clean side here, and now you can fold it or just go ahead and eye it as you cut. Each of these strips are going to be 1/2 inch thick, and long ways is just half a sheet. So after I'm folding here for just a little bit, just to make my mark as to where I'm cutting, I'm trying to cut as straight as possible. So I mean, I could pencil it, but I'm not going to here. So now I'm cutting it one strip here, but as you see, it's folded in half, so I'm going to cut that part off. And so now I have 2 strips ready, but now I'm going to go ahead and cut the rest. And as to how many strips, I don't really know. I'm just cutting it quite a few because I'm going to do 2 layers around the circle, and you'll see. It really depends on how wide you ended up making the circle. So I'm going to pause now for a moment and go ahead and write my message. And as to what message you write, it depends on you, but for me, I'm going to write reading across America. You could put in happy birthday Dr. Seuss. It depends on how big you want your message to be, but for me, I'm going to write read across America. And make sure that you stay within that pencil mark, the pencil circle that you have inside the circle, as it will ensure that the letters are not blocked by the strips that you are making. So what we're going to do with these strips is end up curling them. So I'm just wrapping it around a marker here. You can wrap it around a pencil, a pen. Just be careful and squeeze it good. Not too tightly that you're going to burst the marker, but just enough to give your piece of paper a curl. And now I'm going to go ahead and add glue and place it on the edge here. Now you're going to place it on the outer part of the circle. So you're going to get it close to the edge, but not quite, just enough that it's touching inside that white circle, but outside of the pencil circle. And now you're going to go ahead and continue with the other strips. You could stack them up 2 at a time. If you're going to do 4, I don't recommend it because it won't be as curly, your paper strips. So squeeze it for just a second, unravel it, and now go ahead and start gluing them on. And you will likely have to cut more. It depends on how many strips you cut, so just keep that in mind. But right now we're going to glue and see how much it takes us, and see if we need to add more to fill up this circle. And make sure to press these down on the circle good, a nice very firm press on each of these strips onto the circle, and make sure they stay and don't fall off, as I'm using a glue stick rather than tacky glue. So. Now, as you see here, I've done my 1 outer circle, but I want to add some in between. So I'm going to go ahead and add more strips. So I'm going to grab one of my strips that I have still, and find the correct measurements and make sure they match. So I may do just a little thinner in the inner part. So I'm going to go ahead and start cutting out strips. But let me cut this extra piece off, as it won't be of any use to me here. So getting that part out of my way, and now I'm going to go ahead and start folding. You can continue to fold to make your lines, and then go ahead and cut your strips out. Okay, so I should have enough strips now to do another layer of curled strips inside the circle. So again, winding up about 2 strips here, and using my red marker right now, but you can use a pencil again, something that you can wind it to make a nice curl on these strips. Adding some glue, and I'm going to place these in the inner part. So this is going to be just on the line, the pencil line circle inside, hiding that pencil mark that I made earlier. And I'm going to continue to curl these strips as I go. So remember, I'm filling in the spaces here. As you see, there's a little space in between the strips, the outer strips I made. So I'm placing them though on the circle pencil mark here. Remember how I used that container to go ahead and make the circle? So I'm covering that circular line inside. So now I have the main part done. I'm going to go ahead and set this aside and work on the bottom part of the Truffula tree. So it's going to be now the popsicle stick that's going to be decorated. So here I'm using a popsicle stick, but remember you can use a pool noodle tube if you're doing a large thing, or if you have a paper straw with spirals, you can use that or a skewer. But for me, I'm using a popsicle stick. It would be easier to flatten it on the back of the Read Across America button I just made. So now I'm going to get a piece of construction paper that will cover the popsicle stick here. I'm going to use the yellow here, as I see that it will be just enough there, but you could use the black if you want, but for me I'm going to go ahead and use the yellow. So I'm going to add glue onto the popsicle and place the yellow construction paper on top of it and make sure it is fully covered. And making sure to be generous here and don't do just a quick wipe, just to make sure it's just enough that it's going to stick properly. And make sure to smooth it nicely, and now go ahead and cut the extra construction paper that's around the popsicle stick. So just using the popsicle stick as my liner here to go ahead and cut the extra pieces off all around it. And now you're going to go ahead and start cutting some tiny strips that are going to go across the yellow popsicle stick. So I need straight strips. So I'm just cutting out and eyeing it, basically just a tiny bit here in the corner, and going to go ahead and cut maybe 2 long strips here. I won't need the whole thing, but now I'm going to go ahead and make sure they're nice and not too thin, but maybe like a 1/4 inch. And just looking at it, estimating it, yeah, so that would be a good size here to go down the yellow popsicle stick now. So I'm just going to add some glue, just trying to find a place to put it so I'm not adding glue on my cardboard here that I normally use. So I'll just use my thumb here and place some glue on the back, and then place it on the popsicle stick and make sure that the bottom right corner is not visible on the popsicle stick, so make it stick out a little tiny bit. Yeah, I accidentally did that, so let me take that off and push it a little inwards there. There you go. And make sure it's going like a spiral. Remember, it's meant to look like a spiral. I'm gonna go ahead and cut the extra part off of this black strip and smooth out the black strip I have here still, and cutting off the extra edge here. can be a little tricky, so I'm putting it upside down here. And now it is even, so it looks like a spiral. It's not straight. It's supposed to be angled as a spiral would be going downwards. And now I'm going to get ready for my next one. Now remember, the bottom right corner is not meant to be visible on the popsicle stick. And make sure it's pressed down and smoothed out nicely. And remember, it is angled. The bottom right is downwards while the left top part is upwards. And now cutting off the extra black pieces of the black strip. Okay, good. And now continue to do that for the rest of the popsicle stick. Remember, it's not going straight across, it is going in an angle form like a spiral would. Now that the popsicle stick is ready, we're going to go ahead and glue our button onto it. So what we're going to do, and it depends on the glue you have and how it is formed, you are using a popsicle stick or not. But for me, I'm using a popsicle stick. I will want it at the lower part, so I'm going to just actually, this is a little hard here. Let me go ahead and add the glue on the popsicle stick. That's going to be just the top part, maybe just like maybe a 1/4 inch in. Add some glue and make sure it's generous enough. Just adding it to one side. I actually got some on the other side. So now that I have enough glue on the yellow side of the popsicle stick, I'm going to go ahead and place it, trying to angle it, find out where that spot is, that lower bottom part. See? And now I'm going to go ahead and, oops, I know where the bottom part is of the circle. I'm going to go ahead and place the popsicle stick down, and all the items are facing up, and I'm pressing down. Make sure to press it nice and firmly, smooth it out, because we want to make sure that popsicle stick is going to stay together with the button. Okay, so now it is done. So now you have your Truffula tree. You may ask yourself, what is Read Across America Day? Well, each year, Read Across America Day is celebrated on March 2nd, the birthday of Dr. Seuss. The annual event was designed to encourage everyone in America to read. At a time like this, it does feel good to be connected in some way. Reading can be one of those things. So remember to check out our library's catalog and find something to read for Read Across America Day. I hope you enjoyed this program and have a great day. Thank you for joining me in the Sounds Like Public Library. Please take a few minutes to fill out our program survey. For a complete list of other virtual programs, please visit sjpl.org/virtual programs. Also, don't forget to follow us at San Jose Library on Facebook and sign up for their newsletter at sjpl.org/e-newsletter to stay informed of all things SJPL. Have a great day.